the airspace to 3 nautical mile radius of the airfield. Circuits not available during the display. No arrivals, no departures, no overflights until advised display complete.
Okay, so aircraft coming in here are required to use a VHF radio. If you look to your right, you can see the control tower, which was operational here when this was the Air Force's main basic flying training establishment, but the amount of traffic here these days doesn't warrant the use of a tower, so pilots just make their own radio calls and arrange their own separation. Now the person helping Lynn into the cockpit is our, and one of the interesting features of this aircraft is the ignition system. It has what's known as a shower of sparks, so there's a definite starting procedure that you'll be able to hear quiet while it's established, because you'll hear the clear communication between the pilot and the cockpit and the engineer on the ground.
Delta Museum, I have you sighted. We're just about to start. You'll be okay.
Roger, welcome in, advance, runway 04 grass right.
To that plane up there.
How about you?
Excellent. Traffic Point Cook, turn left, Bravo, Foxtrot Delta, joining downwind runway 04 grass right, Point Cook.
Priming is complete, throttle is closed. Throttle set. Throttle is set. Clear. Switches are off.
Point Cook, traffic, that's right, Point Cook.
What's going on my camera? You know why? Because it's actually going that fast on the camera, and what you'll see is all those really fast images is one.
Will require exclusive use of the airfield as already announced for the next 1-5. Heritage Bus.
Okay, now that was quite a quick start actually. Sometimes this type of ignition system can be very temperamental. Without a hitch today, it was very good. So what a beautiful sight, the pup out there on the green grass. So making sure he gets the engine up to its correct operating temperature and making sure everything's ready before flight. Really needs to take off directly into the wind. Also, another feature to note about it is the nice big wheels. Obviously it was designed for rough ground when Point Cook was first established.
From the western grass to the east. Heritage Pup commencing the drag to display the stars. Good traffic.
Okay, opening up the throttle and taking off directly to the just slightly south of east. Tail up, stick forward. And airborne in about the length of your own driveway at home, I'd say. Okay, so we're back in a different era. We're not flying fast now, we're flying slow, and as Lynn was saying, the pilots back then, they had very limited experience. Aviation was in its infancy, training methods were pretty crude, and the opportunity for getting a lot of experience when under the pressure of the First World War was just non-existent, so people had to do the best that they could.
This is going on YouTube. I'm not joking, this is going on YouTube.
Oh, good on you.
Here it comes.
You're doing about 50 to 60 knots, around about that.
Hey, you're fine where you were.
Maybe a little bit more.
Alright, catch Jack off.
So Lynn's just flying to altitude down to the southwest, where the Bristol box kite, which was the first to fly at Point Cook, and was located down there. Then in the Second World War, facilities were developed more in the centre of the airfield here. So coming in from the south is the Sopwith Pup.
The V&E on this aeroplane, that's the velocity never exceed. Maximum speed you're supposed to fly at is 100.
Point Cook, this is Air Force Museum operations. Do you read?
We do reach uniform Foxtrot Hotel.
Roger, we're right in the middle of a flying display. Haven't heard any radio calls from you.
Your radio call, sir. My apologies, uniform Foxtrot Hotel.
Also, pilots like this, little do they know that when they give their radio calls, there's a couple of hundred people listening to them. So there are procedures and they're meant to be followed, actually. So 60-degree angular bank turn, you have a G-force of about 2 on you in a turn like that. So if Lynn weighs 75 kilograms, you'd be weighing 150 kilograms in a turn like that.
The flying wires buzz. But when we rigged it, we tightened up the wires so they can't do it anymore.
On the control tower. Power right off, just gliding down about 60 knots. A little bit of back stick now to hold it up. Right wing down because a little bit of crosswind. And yes. You can see how fragile it is. It's a very...
There's a couple of techniques for landing crosswind. One is where you grab the aeroplane down and kick it straight at the last minute, or you fly it with the end to touch the ground.
Okay, it's not over yet. As Lynn was saying, taxiing this aircraft is a bit of a handful. He has difficulty seeing where he's going, and it takes use of the brakes and the rudder and the power to turn the aircraft, and in particular if there's any wind it can get quite difficult.